Tell me more about what happened.
True story.
I'll tell the story from the guy that was the cripple. You know, I totally agree with you. Anyone can run ads, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's like,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
Okay, fine.
Okay, fine. Okay, you go.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Daily Bros podcast. Today we're here with Danan and his wife. We got on a call 2 weeks before, and it was going so well. We thought, why not make a podcast episode out of it? So
Yeah, it was going so well. We were upset that it wasn't recorded, so we're doing a take two.
One of you said that one should have been the podcast right there.
Yeah. So we'll have to make it up.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So why don't you guys start with a little, introduction about who you guys are, what you've done and what you currently do, what you get started, and we'll get started that way.
Go for it, love.
Oh, me. Okay. Well, what? So
2010.
2010, we started our Amazon business out of necessity because this one got himself hit by a bus when he was riding his motorcycle. And he was physically true story.
Literally hit by a bus.
Literally.
Can't make that up.
And they, the county didn't pay out like we expected. They barely even covered his hospital bills.
They didn't.
They didn't.
Close.
They didn't cover the hospital bills. They had to hire a lawyer to negotiate everything down. So
hospital bills were more. Hospital plus aftercare was more than double what we got paid out.
Yeah. And anyway, so that happened. And since he was physically unable to travel, I was selling anything in the house that wasn't nailed down. So I learned eBay.
Also true story.
Yes. eBay, Craigslist, and Amazon. And
Facebook Marketplace was not a thing at this time. It was Craigslist.
Right. Facebook was still brand new. So
yeah. Back in my day.
So we started in the early days of Amazon, and we've been selling in vitamins and supplements mostly. We've done the food section.
Yeah, we've done food. We've done beauty outdoors, toys, baby. Have we done baby?
Yep, we did some baby, but we're sticking with vitamins and supplements. So
yeah, we've been doing that solid for 14 years now, since 2010.
Yeah, cool. So we've been through the gambit of
retail arbitrage.
Yeah.
Cool. No.
Oh,
well,
I did.
We have done that.
I did do that.
We've done retail arbitrage. We've done wholesale arbitrage with the pallets.
Yeah, and consignment.
Yeah. We've done products on consignment. We've done private label. We tried our hand at Amazon merch.
Yeah.
And
there was just no profit there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, the only person I've met that's profitable does around $100,000 a year and works his butt off. He's got over 40,000 variations for that. It's like, no, thanks.
It's a headache.
Yeah.
So before we dig more, you kind of glazed over. Yeah, he got hit by a bus, and we started Amazon. Can we touch up on that for a second?
Drop that bomb real quick.
Yeah, no, we didn't even drop it. We just hopped over the landmine. But tell me more about what happened.
I'll tell the story from the guy that was the cripple, and I mean that literally. So basically, I was a traveling salesman for a chiropractic consulting company, and on my way to work, this is, man, how old was I? 22, 23?
I don't know.
It was a long time ago.
I am now.
Yeah. Well, I'm still 22. She's actually just 18. So, so I was on my way to work. As I was entering an intersection, this bus coming the other way, the bus driver, she looked I thought she looked at me. She clearly looked right through me, and then started to turn into my lane as I was entering the intersection. And I went, oh, this is happening. So I slam on my brakes. I'm not sure if I'm going to go in front of the rear wheel or behind the rear wheel. So I ended up parallel with the bus and put my arm out, and then I crumpled up against the bus, and I broke 10 bones, ruptured spleen, kidney, and lung, and so not unserious injuries, lots of internal bleeding and ruptured items and stuff like that, things that you need to be alive.
Helicoptered out.
Yep. So
wow.
I remember this. I only remember this because I remember that being in the bills but I had a $700 bill to go down the street to the golf course, which they probably could have just let in an ambulance. Yeah. They could have put me on a gurney and just let me go, and I would have ended up at the helicopter, but they put me in a $700 ambulance. And then Bay flighted out to a trauma level 4 trauma facility, something like that. Something where our local hospital wasn't able to handle my injuries. And so they put me into a chemical coma. They operated on me in a whole bunch of different and uncomfortable ways to think about. And then I woke up and that's when she was there. And I, just so you know, so she knew that I was still mentally capable of recognizing things and stuff like that. Cause I'm intubated, I've got wires all over my hands. I've got tubes in my chest and in through my ribs and stuff like that. And so I pointed at my leg, which was all bandaged up, and I gave her a thumbs down. And I pointed at my
broken in 3 spots.
Yeah, 3 broken places, compound fracture. And then I pointed at my crotch and I gave her a thumbs up. Little did I know I had a catheter in. So that was also a big thumbs down too, actually. So that,
but at least you were there. Yeah. At least you was like, all right.
Exactly. I was mentally there, but not, didn't realize the full, implications of the situation I was in,
Wow. So that's so crazy that moment in time pushed you or forced you guys to get onto the path that, you're still on today, 14 years later.
Yeah. It did.
Yeah. And it
was the catalyst.
It was a catalyst. I'd say it forced us. Like, we're nothing like you guys. Props to you guys for and to your family for building the enterprise that you have. We were forced into it.
Yeah.
we were broke.
Yeah. We were on the verge. Oh, okay. So this gets into the next part of the story. We were on the verge of, like, we were interviewing medical bankruptcy lawyers to go, what are our
options?
Yeah. What are our options here? And let's see. So I got the payout from the school district, and the lawyer negotiated a whole bunch of bills down to a fraction of what they were. He took his cut. And I think at the end of the day, we ended up with $17,000.
Which a large chunk of that went to other,
which is what I used to negotiate my remaining medical bills. And I paid off like the last like $1,800 on my truck, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we bought a used couch. And that was
because I sold the couch.
Because we sold the couch while we were broke. Also a true story.
Sold the couch so we'd have money for food.
Yeah. And then, so we got a new couch and paid off the rest of my $1,700 owed on the truck. And that was what we got out of the deal.
Couch. It was a new couch.
Oh yeah. New couch. New to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did that kind of trigger getting into Amazon? I know you said you guys did a bit of Etsy, a bit of selling on different marketplaces, but how did that kind of translate onto Amazon?
So in my case, I started. So at this time, I'm incapacitated, right? Like, I'm in a wheelchair, and then I'm on a cane, and then I'm hobbling around like a 90-year-old bull rider,
And I'm his 24-hour nurse.
Yes, 100%, 24, like literally.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine who was working at a sister company of the company that I worked for before I was fired for not showing up to work. Also another true story. I'm not going to get into that. He said, "Oh, I just got my product on Amazon." And that was like what? You mean you don't have to be GE and have a retinue of inventors and have patents and stuff like that? I'm in. Can I sell it too? And it's like, yeah, like, sweet. How much do they cost? Like, you can have them for $10 a piece. Like, awesome. I don't have $10. Can I just like buy it after I sell it? And this is also a true story. Like, we did not buy our inventory. We sold, went and bought the inventory because he was local to us, and then fulfilled the orders.
Wow.
Yeah. I was drop shipping and handwriting notes and packaging everything. And we did.
Crazy. And what was that product?
That was a chewable stress and adrenal support.
which we don't have anymore because we
Yeah.
built it up so well that the company and our friend wasn't working there anymore. The company came in and they're like, "Oh, we're going to sell it ourselves." I'm like,
Yeah. Thanks very much for 5 years of building our product on Amazon. You're cut out.
Now it's our turn.
basically.
Yeah.
You know all
Yeah.
about
Well, look,
that.
you know, the thing is that for a little while in my anger, I'd tracked the BSR. They were nowhere near what we were at.
Yeah,
And I told them
changed
that would happen.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. Was that
So-
your guys' first like win in the Amazon space? Was that like your first
Yeah.
like?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the very first product that we ever sold on Amazon. And so when we got to, what was the number? 35 units?
Oh, okay. So I built it up personally. Like I taught myself Amazon, and I was selling on eBay, and I was selling on, we built a little website, and we were selling a few on the website. So I think after, writing a bunch of blog posts and really blasting it all over the place, I got it up to 35 units a month.
35 units a month.
Big deal, but it was also a lot because I had to drive to go get the product and pack it and everything.
A lot of work.
And then,
behind the
it
scenes.
was a lot of work.
But
No,
that-
60 units. 60 units was my
that was our peak. 63.
Yeah.
I remember that was the peak.
Yeah.
But when we hit 50 units, that was enough to not have to go bankrupt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like we didn't
That was the
need that
pivotal
much money.
moment. Yeah.
That was the pivotal moment. And it was enough to keep the house and the vehicle, because when we started Amazon, we hadn't yet gotten that payout, right?
Mhm.
After we got the payout, alleviated the truck payment. That was awesome. And now we had enough money for mortgage and food. Like we were on food stamps.
Wow.
That's how, because she had to be my 24-hour nurse, she couldn't work and I couldn't work. I was on drugs on the couch all day long, on painkillers, not to my preference either, by the way. Anyhow, that stuff's crazy. But yeah, like there was a point, they have their place in the world, right? There was a point where I could only take so much pain. And the interesting, we won't get into that. That's fine. That's not what this is about. But I got off of those as fast as I possibly could.
Yeah.
So that I could get to work, because they really made me stupid. Like my problem solving skills my IQ was shot, and like it drove me crazy because I knew I was smarter than how dumb I was being,
Yeah. And you know what? It's a miracle that A, you survived that accident, and
True.
then B, getting off that stage that you were at, because that's also a funk to kind of, break out of. But I see you had some good support and a good caretaker that helped you get through that moment. And it's really nice to see where you guys are at today due to this crazy life event that you might have never, had you not gone through that accident, you might have never gone down this path to be where you're at today.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it, because that's the silver lining in this is like, and I try to use that as a story for people to look at things a different way. Like your life can go into the toilet. Like we all have toilet lives sometimes, and nobody wants to live in a toilet, right? But it's just part of life, and the only way out of a spinning spiral of toilet water is to swim your way out, and grab onto the edge of that toilet and pull yourself out. Yeah. No one's going to do it for you. There will always be people to help you around, right? But no one's going to do it for you. And so it just goes to show that I realize I'm kind of on a soapbox here going, be good and stuff like that. But it's totally true. And I can say it because I've done it, and she's been there and she's done it too, right there with me. Like we did it together. And if I didn't have her, I'd be doomed. And if she didn't have me, she'd be rich. And that's true.
That's funny. Well, you know what? Thank you for sharing that story. I mean, not a lot of people kind of speak up about things that happened to them, especially in the past, especially something as, I'm sure emotional that was, and how difficult of a time. Like you're here laughing about it now, but I mean, it was not funny at the time.
Yeah, no, there was not a lot of laughter at the time.
Except the one time when you were on the couch with your broken ribs.
God. So, okay.
All right.
Little side story here. I'm not going to do what I did. I'm just not going to do it. And you don't do it either. You understand? I'm going to take that as a resounding yes. So I've got 5 broken ribs, right? And one of the ribs was the one that punctured my lung. So it's like, they're like really broken. Right. And so she makes me laugh. And if there's anything that's more excruciating, there's nothing more excruciating than laughing when half of your ribs are broken, because you're constantly like doing this, flexing your muscles and stuff. Like there's muscles in the ribs. Who knew there were rib muscles until you break them?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm grabbing my ribs, begging her to stop laughing. And me, in the way that I'm begging, makes her laugh more, which makes me laugh more. And it is excruciatingly painful, but at the same time, super hilarious.
Yes. It is definitely one thing we can laugh about.
Yeah, for sure.
Situation.
For sure.
That's so funny.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that one of the things that I think is most important in any time that I do a podcast where I talk about our lives, one, I like to have her here because she was there for every moment of it, literally every moment. But one of the things I think it's super important that a lot of people get wrapped up in is, meet a 7-figure seller, meet an 8-figure seller, 9-figure seller, 10-figure seller, blah, 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 meet Jeff Bezos, right?
Well, what comes before that, right?
Exactly. Exactly. What's the first step? And a buddy of mine just today, brought this up, and it's totally true. How do you eat an elephant? It's just one bite at a time. Right. And the thing is that go for your first goal. Keep your eye on the mountain, but there are goals to go along there, and go for the first goal, and then proceed towards your mountain. But make sure you're hitting those first goals first, because if you try and hit the mountain without walking the distance, you'll never get there. Yeah. Well, some people do, and I applaud them, but for most of us, you have to walk the journey,
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't look at me like that.
Well, that also reminds me, that analogy reminds me of like our Amazon agency, and a lot of people open up agencies and they haven't walked the walk. They haven't done that journey.
Yeah.
And they don't do such a great job for the client. And then the client gets upset, and then it leaves this bad connotation to agencies, Amazon agencies specifically.
Yeah.
And in our case, like we've gone on that journey. We've done everything that we had to do. And now we're just here, doing it for other people. But it's all about going through that journey.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with you. Anyone can run ads, right?
Yeah. Everyone's in PPC ad manager, right?
That's right. Anybody can manage ads.
Yeah.
By booping some beeps and stuff like that.
But can they do it profitably?
Too much.
Yeah. A lot of people think like, oh, I want to sell more. Okay, I need to spend more. But that's not necessarily true. If you can get a killer conversion rate, you can spend less and make more money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just to touch on that, to bring us back to, just wanted to talk about like back in those days, how you guys kind of went about like, that Wild West kind of period of time where, cost per clicks were cheap, selling on Amazon was very different.
There was no PPC when we started.
Yeah. No, exactly. Danan, you were telling us even no images. Like, walk us through that. Like, you guys are starting on Amazon 14 years ago, and what was it like? People know what it's like now, but give us a glimpse into,
It was like a borderline text-based listing website, and not all products had images, because I think at that time Amazon was just trying to get products on there and diversify how much was there. And I think you were limited to one image at that time. It was either 1 or 3.
Yeah, it was very, very few. I know that. There were no rules. It didn't matter if they had a white background, a black background, a purple, whatever, tie-dye. It just whatever.
Yeah, most images were pixelated, tiny little things. And what she figured out when we were selling everything out of the house was that it was the image, the first image they saw was what sold the item.
Yeah, because being on Craigslist and eBay and Amazon, not Amazon for that, but it's just people are scrolling through and they're gonna click on whatever catches their eye. So
it's the same way today.
Yeah.
Exactly same way today.
You just have to do a lot more to grab their attention.
Yeah.
True.
Exactly.
Yeah. True. But yeah, so she was very good at taking photos. And then I know a little bit Adobe products, Photoshop, stuff like that.
And he knew a bit about SEO. So
that's right.
He taught us SEO stuff.
Yeah. So I had a background in SEO back in the days. You kids wouldn't understand, but a long time ago, as a professional web delivery agency, we used
gray showing.
I'm not that old. I still feel young in my mind, and that's where it counts.
Yep.
So we used to actually add space, like say the background color was blue on this website. We used to add space at the bottom, stuff all the keywords in there, and make them the same color as the background. And that's how you SEO'd a website.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. That's how it was done. That was like a trick, of course, but that's how it was done. And that's how you would rank.
It's like alt text before alt text, right? That's like before even.
Yeah. They call it old text. No, not really.
So yeah, Amazon was pretty basic. And then when PPC came around, it was like we were really and then we had this is the time that we were doing the stress and adrenal support. Mm-hmm. And so we just turned on an automatic campaign. I don't even know if they had manual campaigns back then. They probably did, but I know you could select your own words then.
Okay, so
because I did a lot of research into what keywords to build out for that.
All right, so then that had to have been a manual campaign. I only saw the auto campaign because I don't see as much as she sees, and she's the details person. I'm not. I'm gotcha.
Nah. You're like, click one button, great, I'm done.
Yes, exactly. Now that campaign though ran for how many years?
Well, I think like 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years, yeah. And 8% ACOS through the lifetime of it, an 8% ACOS. Like, I don't even know what was in there. I never negative matched anything. It just
ran.
I was really meticulous in the beginning, and I tried to only do things that were very, very much related to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was.
And we hardly paid anything for it at all. I mean, this was before all this competitive, $50 per click or whatever. Yeah. This was nothing. We were paying pennies.
Do you remember Pinterest ads?
Yeah, we were doing Pinterest ads too.
Yeah. So for little side subject here, when Pinterest ads came out, they invited us to beta it, and we would spend pennies and literally get hundreds of dollars of sales.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was awesome.
So you were running like external traffic from Pinterest to Amazon, or that 2 other platforms?
Yeah, because at the time, Amazon really gave you a lot of
leeway.
Yeah, and they were really into getting external traffic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and we also had our own website, but that was only doing like a few units.
A few grand.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is that Amazon. Well, I think the way it is Amazon didn't hit you for sending external traffic. And then one day in 2014, 15, 16, 17, sometime in there, I know it's quite a few years, but somewhere in there, I don't remember.
1 decade. No.
Yeah. They went, hey, if you're sending external traffic that isn't converting, we're going to smack your listing down because of it. Wow. And then some years later, someone at Amazon went, wait a minute. Don't we want people on Amazon? Let's help these guys.
Yeah, 10%.
And now you have that 10. Yeah, you got that 10% referral bonus. Yeah. Whereas, a couple 3 years ago, something like that, if you did what you're doing today, you would have your listing shot down because your conversion rate was in the crapper. Yeah.
Wow. We didn't even have gating. There was no gating at the time, so we were selling.
Yeah, we were selling products for years, and then one day Amazon would go, hold on, you're not allowed to sell this product. Like, excuse me, we've been selling longer than you've been alive. Like, well, you need to get it approved. Yeah. Okay, approve it. All right, approved. Good.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
really the Wild West.
Yeah, it was.
Completely.
I wish I'd had a little bit better foresight and gone, let's get ungated for Nike. Let's get ungated for all this stuff.
Oh, well, they didn't have it.
There was no brand gating much later as well, but would have been
categories. Yeah.
Yeah. It was category gating, and brand gating came many years later, but should have thought about that.
Yeah. Did you guys just go about it, or like, were there any nowadays, you have all kinds of paid communities, mentors, all kinds of stuff back then? How did you guys go about kind of,
the way we did it was first I just taught myself in the very, very beginning, and I was just selling everywhere and just posting everywhere, anywhere I could, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, anything that I could.
Blogs.
I think this was before Instagram, so we didn't have Instagram going for a while. Yes, a long time ago. And then
we would go on our MySpace page and we would.
I was going to say that, but I didn't do that. But then I had this. I ran into this person at a coffee shop, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And they said, "Oh, yeah, I'm selling on Amazon, and I'm using this thing. It's called something amazing or something like that. But it's closed right now." So, and I gave her my number. I'm like, "Please, when it opens, please give me a call, email me, whatever."
So at that time, that was Amazing Selling Machine 1.
Yeah, because I knew I was learning. I was just going blindly through Amazon, and they didn't have their their teaching stuff or anything like that. No one was doing it.
No.
And I was just taking what I knew from him from doing SEO and working on Google Ads and things like that, and applying it to Amazon. So I never heard from her. And then I had another friend who said that she had signed up for ASM 3. And then I begged her. I was like, "You have to." And I would check with her every couple of months. I'm like, "Is it out yet? Is it out yet? Is it out yet?" And then as soon as it opened up for ASM 4, we bought it.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, we got a Frenchie in the house right now.
Oh,
sorry, we got 3 kids. It wouldn't surprise me if they busted in the door. So
they were knocking earlier. So,
but yeah, so that's what we did. We did Amazing Selling Machine. We were ASM 4, and we just applied a few things to our to what we were doing, and we 10x'd our.
Yeah. So basically, I paid for the course, and then within 3 months, I had made the money back.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was
in profit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not in revenue, but in profit.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Because I actually was going to ask, because nowadays you have Facebook groups, you have mentorships, you have all these communities, Discord communities. There's so much information out there.
Yeah. Look at us. I mean, we're both consultants now, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And
exactly.
And I'm at an agency or a Amazon service company, you know?
So that back then, I guess that was the equivalent. That's how you kind of, got your information.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, I don't know that it was the only one, but it was very thorough, and they had videos, and they walked you through step by step. And and that's exactly what I needed, because I was doing pretty good, but but I was going in totally blind, and they, and they updated it every year or two. So any changes that Amazon did, I would just go and rewatch the videos, the new ones, and go through and fix my listings and bring them up to code.
Yeah. And then from I will say that ASM, they revolutionized the Amazon seller arena, because it brought literally thousands and thousands and thousands of people together. Like, we went to the ASM 4 Seller Con. It was like 4,000 people there or something like that. And, it was crazy. And then there were lots of groups that started from there, like MDS. You guys ever heard of MDS?
Like the brand?
So
no,
million dollar sellers.
Oh,
it's a network. Yeah. So that group used to be 4 people in an empty hotel room. And then it was 10, and then it was 12, and then it was 20, and then it was 30. And then it went, okay, well, let's make something out of this. So, and now that group is responsible, has $8 billion yearly revenue of sellers that are a part of it. Something like that. It's something crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, you've got these groups all over the world. And
Titan, one of them.
Yeah, Titan's one of them. And and I'm sure you guys, I mean, look, any of us could start it up. Like Wizards of Ecom, that's another one.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's, matter of fact, I stole Carlos's camera just for this.
Cool. I just wanted to touch up on, I know I checked out your LinkedIn, Dan, and I saw you worked at Carbon 6, and man, they're doing a killer job right now. So I just wanted to kind of get your insight on back then, how things were going and how, well they're doing now. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I actually come from Managed by Stats. So I was at Managed by Stats for just about almost 5 years. And then Carbon 6 acquired Managed by Stats. I went over there as strategic partnerships for just about a year. And then now I'm chief revenue officer over at TraceFuse, which is the company that does the negative review. Yeah, we had that chat, right? And so so it's kind of funny because Carbon 6 is doing what I was trying to do through Managed by Stats, through a unique and complicated network of agencies and providers. I wanted something that I could offer sellers that you start here on the journey. This is the next step, then this, then this, then this, and this, and then you optimize these areas, right? And Carbon 6 has basically just been buying up a lot of the pieces of that puzzle. Yep. 3 Colts is another one that does it, but they're compared to Carbon 6, they're quiet, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we actually saw them at Shop Talk, and they're working on a lot of stuff, but like you said, again, very quiet. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, and I have nothing to substantiate this, but I think that 3 Colts is building it all in-house, whereas Carbon 6 bought it and is trying to plug everything in together. Right. And I'm sure I don't have any extensive experience on that, but when you buy a bunch of companies with a whole bunch of different software stacks, it probably gets pretty complicated plugging those things together and getting the data to talk, you know?
100%.
So it's just, 2 different ways to the same end. But yeah, I mean, not like 2020, 2021, you saw the surge in aggregators, and this is the surge of aggregators of services.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well said for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely when we look at it and everything.
Yeah.
So, Thrasio has had its ups and downs, and I'm sure that anybody like Carbon 6 that's doing what they're doing is going to have similar ups and downs. Like this is, even though it's fairly old and like we've been selling a long time and we were in the Wild West, this is still the Wild West when it comes to e-com.
For sure.
Especially
with
Amazon
TikTok Shop and, them communicating together and all these platforms slowly trying to build together.
Yeah, exactly. Like I ran into, I've got some buddies that created a company called Rivly, right? They're creating a completely brand new marketplace to resolve all of the issues that us sellers have at Amazon. That's their purpose. And it's only for American businesses too.
Like a teller support system, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually having one that's working with you, not against you.
Yeah. So, like the support's going to be an American, it'll all be American based support, which is what Amazon used to be. Like I used to have a person with an extension that I called for help in Arizona.
Wow. That sounds unreal.
It is today. It was amazing. We had problems solved on the phone in 45 minutes, not 45 days.
Wow.
45 days till you get an automated reply and going back in.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of stress that Amazon caused me after my second was born, and they shut down all of my stores. I think
we had four. We had 4.
Was it 4 or 5?
And then 2 UK, I guess.
Yeah. So shut down everything.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Down.
Well, no, remember.
They left
one UK store was open. Yeah. Anyhow,
doing anything.
They shut down 4 of our Seller Central accounts. And this is in the height of COVID when we're selling supplements and we are on a rocket ride. On a rocket ride.
Literally just given birth. So
yeah. And then
emotions were
that's
high.
right.
Yeah.
It was the day she was born, wasn't it?
Or like the day after or something. Yeah.
Yeah. All the days ran together for me those days. Yeah. And they shut down every Seller Central account we had except for one in UK, which had very little inventory and it sold out. And that was that. But it took me 4 months to get those accounts back up. It killed our Amazon
and
business.
they couldn't give us a reason why.
Nobody could.
No reason why.
Well, I know that we were getting involved with like the masks and the sanitizer at the time. And I know that caused them to just flag a bunch of people, even if you had nothing to do with that. I think supplement, since you touched that, category, you're on that line. And they just like, all right, let's get rid of everyone. And it doesn't make sense, but
whoever begs to come back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know there were these mass bans, suspensions.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time we've been caught up in it too. Like our accounts are super old, like one's 14 years old and the other one's like 9 or 10 years old, something like that. And so I feel like we just get caught up in some sort of algorithm because there's so much old data on there. There could be things in fields that don't exist that we can see anymore.
Right.
Or they read it wrong.
Yeah. Or they read, or they can't read.
Yeah. I had a supplement shut down one time because they said it was an illegal supplement. And they used a certain word, and I looked at it. I'm like, that's not an ingredient in my supplement. And they're like, well, you have to prove it. I had to go and get the definition for, I know, but I had to go get the definition of both ingredients, the one that was being shut down because it was illegal, and then what was actually in mine, and submit that. And then finally they're like,
no. They did not let us sell. You're talking about the sleep support.
Yeah.
For a year.
I know.
For a year.
I know. I brought it back.
Yes, but it took a year.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like trying to talk to a baby and try and get them to understand, look, like, this is not this.
Well, I'm surprised you're even able to get it back after a year. Like, not that I would have given up, but you're just like, at some point,
well,
are they even going to?
We created a new listing.
Right. Yeah.
We stopped trying to get that listing approved and we just created a new one.
But by then they'd already killed all my forward motion. So I had to start over.
Yeah.
Well, something yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Okay, fine.
Okay, fine. Okay, you go.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, right. So something we've been doing for the last 6 months, a year is going on the US support as you would regularly do to create a ticket, but selecting the German language and, Google translating to German. And for some reason you get sharper responses. I think it's because it's
local support.
Yeah,
they don't have German speaking nationals in other countries around the world. So it has to be someone from
So
Spanish.
that's an old trick with Spanish. If you were on trying to get seller support to call you, you'd say Spanish. So you'd get a Latin country that had a much, much better understanding of American culture. Cool. And they all speak English and they care more than certain other help in other countries that don't care more.
Right. And also the German marketplace is also getting much bigger, right? So the Spanish way is definitely, a better option.
Yeah. And the German marketplace has been getting bigger. I mean, I believe that Germany and UK drive the vast majority of the EU sales.
100%. Yeah.
I think it's like
the rest
80%.
of Europe in general, from like we go there pretty often. We do business with some Portuguese companies, some Spanish companies, and the mentality isn't there yet. Like they'll still walk to their local shop and buy in person. So it's like, it's funny that Amazon does so much in Europe, but like you said, Germany and UK definitely drive the bulk of the business. Because some, Italy, those countries are just used to walking to the grocery store, walking to whatever they need, and they buy what they need in that moment. No overconsumption, no. So it's funny, but we're seeing a shift. Yeah. We're definitely seeing a shift. We were just in Portugal, and one of our colleagues there asked me to buy something on Amazon and bring it to her because they didn't have it in Amazon in Portugal. And I said, I didn't even know you guys bought stuff on Amazon. She goes, honestly, we're starting to see a big increase. Like I go on Amazon and I look for things sometimes. We don't have the full selection, but whatever we can get from the UK that's available here, they'll get that. But we're seeing that shift for sure.
Yep. Yeah, it's Amazon's ever expanding. Yeah. It's no question about it. That's a logistics company. Right? Amazon's a logistics company. Yeah. They figured out logistics, and that is why they are so massive.
Sure. And it's not going away anytime soon. Yeah. So
probably not. Yeah. No. It doesn't matter how much the government goes after them. It does still something. I know at Accelerate last year, they said, I think 63% of Amazon sales is thanks to sellers like us, and they're like, and we love you guys. And we put a bunch of, and you're going to now be getting better support than ever. And unfortunately for them, the entire place busted up laughing. And I don't think they caught that they were laughing at them and not with them. Yeah. But it's definitely not going away. It's always going to be changing, but I hope a few things come out to give them a run for their money, but not shine and
and I think we're starting to see that. I think we're starting to see that with the rise of TikTok Shop, and some of the other platforms. They're giving them a run for their money. Like we started dabbling with TikTok Shop, and you want to talk about support? Like we have a rep at our disposal, whatever you need. Oh, you need free ad dollars.
I was going to ask, are they still giving away free ad dollars?
They're still, but like they used to match a certain percentage, but now it's like not unlimited, but it's crazy. It's free money. Like they're giving you money to spend. It's like really, really crazy. And they're also, what's it called? They're having their own like Prime Day.
Yeah.
On the same dates as Prime Day.
Oh,
wait. Didn't we do a news reel on that?
I wanted to anyway.
Long time ago, we actually did weekly news with Managed by Stats. We actually recorded a weekly news, and I was like, she was like the smart anchor, and I was like an idiot anchor, not far from the truth. But anyhow, it was a lot of fun doing that. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun.
I'm sure.
I remember we did something on that where someone else was having. I thought it was TikTok, maybe.
Well, I mean, Target was doing it around the same time.
It was Walmart. It was Walmart. It was Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, maybe Walmart started up theirs.
Yeah. Because I don't think TikTok Shop was happening at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow.
TikTok was still
so it's really, really wild what they're doing. And like I was saying, they're doing their version of a Prime Day on the same dates as Prime Day. And
smart.
They're sponsoring the discount. So you want to go 20% off, they're paying that 20% off.
That's amazing.
So you're selling full price and they're eating the difference. So they're being creative and really trying to stir up the pot here. And they're doing a good job.
I mean,
so TikTok,
they're buying the traffic.
TikTok Shop is the Wild West now.
Yeah.
That's where it is. Is like if you want to get selling, that's where you go right now.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few people that said that Walmart was the Wild West, but Walmart screwed it all up.
Yeah.
You know,
they had the opportunity to be that like number 2 marketplace. And I don't know, it's not.
The thing that sucks is that they already had all of the shipping facilities established.
They have that logistic. Yeah. They have the logistics part figured out.
Exactly. They just needed to figure out the home delivery and all right, cool. Make UPS buy more trucks to come by your place every day, you know? Yeah. It's, I really wish that they hadn't not figured it out, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's just, what's it been? 5 or more years, something like that. 5 or more years since we were approved to sell when you had to use Joe Lister just to be able to get your inventory on there. And it was hot garbage.
Yeah.
So like I would not have launched an e-com platform that didn't allow its sellers to get inventory on there on my own platform. You know?
Yeah. Oh, you're shooting yourself in the foot there. Yeah, no, for sure.
So jumping back into, you guys and your Amazon journey, what are some mistakes that you guys maybe made along the way? And
you want how are you able to overcome
them?
Podcast for that.
A little glimpse, a little tips for people that are listening in.
I'll give a couple, and then I know you'll give better ones. So number one, I'll always be evolving with Amazon. If you don't change with the future, you're gonna die in the past, and we've done that, right? And so that's number one. Number two is always be expanding, and that doesn't mean to expand beyond your means, but Amazon is not a platform where you can put a product and go, yay, it's selling. I know it'll always sell the rest of my life at exactly that much. And I'll always have this profit.
You can't sit still.
No, you can't sit still. I think those are probably my 2 biggest ones because those are the biggest mistakes that I made.
Don't do all the work yourself.
Oh God, yes.
That's the mistake I made. I was doing all of the work myself. I would not trust anyone else.
Yeah.
And that's where, you get into overwhelm and stress and you can't expand because there's only so much you can do.
Right.
Then it's not fun anymore. Right. So
you become a bricklayer in your bricklaying business. You, the only bricklayer, can only lay so many bricks in a day, and that's it. You're tapped out. And if you don't hire juniors and train them up to lay bricks, are they going to lay bricks as well as you can?
Right.
No, they're not. But if they can do it 70% as well, good. Pass it off. Let them handle it. And you fix what's wrong along the way. And it's okay to have problems along the way. Newsflash, you're going to have them anyhow in some area of life, So just fix the problems as they come up. You put out the fires before they come infernos. you'll be all right.
And don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like you can't just only be on Amazon.
For sure.
Because Amazon can shut you down in a hot second.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you might not get back. So
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, how many times we've been shut down?
Yeah, we've
Things shut down.
Yeah, we've had,
like,
I can't even count how many. We've had our accounts shut down, I think 3 times. 2 times?
I don't know.
More than one.
honestly, that's not too bad in
great.
14 years. That's not too bad.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's
It
true. It's
really
true.
isn't.
Yeah.
If it's just that one time that's burned in my
I
mind.
know.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
after
that
going
just
through that,
killed us.
it'll stick with you for a long. It'll haunt you for a long time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially when you're really trying to keep your nose clean and be like a white hat. And then
Mhm.
you come along and you're like, why am I shut down? And
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh, you did this bad thing. What bad thing? Oh, I don't know, but you did a bad thing.
You want to know what my first wrist slap from Amazon was what did they call it? Like price manipulation.
Oh,
You remember that?
Yeah.
So there was a product that we were selling that the distributor asked us to try and bring the map, the minimum advertised price back up to what it was supposed to be
Before brand ownership. So,
before brand registry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I reached out to the other seller saying, hey, listen, you are violating MAP. We need to sell at this price. My recommendation is that we just incrementally bring the price up back up to MAP. Well, that seller reported me and Amazon suspended me for price manipulation.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So don't do that, people.
Yeah.
apparently it's illegal. So
Well,
No,
it was
dude.
not illegal. I just told the seller that he needs to bring the price back up to MAP.
Yeah.
That's not price manipulation.
Yeah.
There is a
True.
policy.
that's true. That's
That
true.
was agreed
Yeah.
upon.
Yeah. And no one was listening to it. They were all selling. I think you're supposed to be selling it for $29.99, and there were
They were
people on there for
selling it
$19.99.
Yeah, 19. Yeah.
I think they were making like a couple pennies, but I mean, if you sell enough, then
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And we sold a lot of that
Multiplies.
product. That's for sure.
well,
Yeah.
that's because that was the other thing. If you want to sell something that everybody else is selling, you got to figure out a spicy way to sell it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Mhm.
we
This was before you can do virtual bundles. In fact, even before there was software to do virtual bundles, which came out,
Mhm.
what we were doing is there was a listing for this product, and we needed to take over the market. So the solution we came up with was to do single with a sample, double with a sample, triple with the sample, and we took over the whole first page with just
Wow.
our listings. And then we eventually, because we had such velocity on the product, we took over the single bottle as well.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how we solved
That's a
that problem.
That's genius. That's genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked. It
Yeah.
worked, and you can still get these crazy solutions like this even today.
Mhm.
You know,
got to think
Just to
outside the
get
box.
creative. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You got to think outside the Amazon box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty small box
To
but
get
it's-
into the buy box.
I know they're really making it tighter and tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tinier.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, now it's off Amazon stuff.
Yeah,
And like
exactly.
she said earlier, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like Amazon can turn off that money faucet anytime. Like
Mhm.
you want to be on daddy or mommy's money and rely on daddy or mommy's opinion. Well, Amazon is daddy or mommy.
Yep.
And they have Tourette's or something like that.
Yeah.
Or
I know.
something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. I think it's a little bit worse than that. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all that has to happen. Like Amazon, the old saying, shoot first and ask questions later. They don't even
Mhm.
bother with the questions part.
They're just
They
out
just-
you
here
get-
blowing people up.
Yeah. If you want to ruin somebody's life and their livelihood, just report them to Amazon.
Literally.
So
I've
Cool.
actually had someone come after me on Amazon and had some lawyer send something to Amazon saying that I had used their
intellectual
pictures.
property.
Yeah, their intellectual property, and it was copyrighted or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay. But I had gotten it directly from the manufacturer or the distributor.
Mhm.
So then I just went and took my own, and then I put those up, and then I got the same letter via Amazon from this lawyer, and I had to like dig up all this data and then contact Seller Central and just be like, look, I took these pictures, so these guys are just coming after me at this point.
Yeah,
I forgot
they're just
about that.
oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But
So you guys are also lawyers too. It's good to know.
Well, that's one thing about Amazon. It pushes you to do it all.
Literally.
Like,
Right.
the amount of professions that you've acquired through this one journey is...
We're private investigators.
Exactly.
So.
I love that one.
But, at the end of the day, you're still going to make money if you can do it right.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do.
So with that being said,
you just have to optimize.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Absolutely. No, I just want to know, like, what are you guys currently working on, and what direction are you guys kind of focusing on 14 years later?
Well, we're still in supplements.
Okay.
So the thing is that our model is, there's a few people doing it out there doing it now. But I've met very few. We don't pay for our inventory. We don't run ads, and we pay our manufacturer once a month for what's sold. So we get the inventory on consignment. So there's no upfront, no liquid cash out. We, once a month, my wife does the numbers and tells them, charge me this much and send in this much. And that's it.
I'm doing it the lazy way.
Yeah.
It's the lazy way because I have 3 kids. And I just currently until they're a little bit bigger, because I have one that's still a 1-year-old. I'm just kind of he has a 1-year-old too. I'm kind of just letting it roll, and then once she's old enough, then I can actually dive in and add some more inventory and things like that. But it's definitely the lazy way. This is just
we'll probably go the route of brand management.
I do some of that, like some consulting, and I help debug him when he's stuck on stuff, because I've been doing this a lot longer. Yeah,
she's been in the trenches of Amazon a lot longer than I have in terms of like Seller Central and putting in tickets and stuff like that. I have been on the software and service side of Amazon for the last 6 years. So I still, as a seller, I still keep my foot in the door. I still know what's going on. And because I attend a lot of events, stuff like that, I've still got a lot of pertinent data today and do mostly know what I'm talking about.
I didn't say anything. That was you.
I was just checking. So
I try to correct him if he's wrong, though.
Yeah, that's right. She does.
Fact check.
So now,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, she has the other half of the story as I was laying in bed in a coma,
Right.
But now I'm in the negative review removal service. So that's like its own crazy thing on its own. Right. So I'm focused on the software and the consulting side. Like Jade's got ecom triage.
Cool.
For the consulting, and then I'm full time with TraceViews.
Yeah. Cool. So you want to talk to us a bit about that and what you're doing with TraceViews and what you guys do?
Sure. Yeah. So TraceViews is, in theory, it's a very simple service. What we do is we get all of your negative reviews. We run it through an AI to see which ones that's trained on Amazon's community guidelines and about 10 or 11 different policies that they have, and then we get a list of reviews that are in violation. We prioritize that. And then when we start dealing with Amazon, working with Amazon to get those removed and alert them of any fraudulent activity. So we're able to detect degrees of fraudulent activity.
Like fraudulent, and of course,
reviews? There's just, what's that?
Like in terms of reviews?
Yeah.
Or identities on Amazon who are,
okay.
Private investigator.
Right. You weren't joking.
Yeah. No. So it's pretty wild. Like one of the things we'll look for are sudden peaks in how many critical reviews you've gotten in a single day or a series of days. Like sometimes, especially on brands and like beauty and supplements and electronics and stuff like that, you'll see these sudden peaks. Like let's say you get on average 1-star review per day, and you get 18, 20, and 14, and then you're back down to 1-star review per day. Well, that's an anomaly. We're going to investigate every single one of those buyer accounts, put together a case and submit it to Amazon saying, hey, look, this is obviously fraudulent activity. They've never bought anything else like this, or it's the only product they've ever done, and they left a 1-star, and so especially the bigger brands that have lots of reviews. But even the smaller ones, if you look for do not buy, buyer beware, those are two of the most favorite things for fraudulent reviewers to leave. Is like, dangerous, do not buy, buyer beware, kills unicorns. You know,
stole my hair.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's the problem is proving it. If it's a onesie, twosie, here'sy, there'sy, it's tough to get Amazon to agree to that. But, you know, it happens. Like sometimes you get these review accounts that are associated with other ones like, oh, look, this one left precisely the same review on this other similar product. Stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah. So then we'll go through the rigmarole of dealing with Amazon and the back and forth and getting those reviews removed. And we've got a 5 to 15% removal rate on that. Yeah.
And then how do the people pay for them? This is my favorite part as a seller.
Fake money. They use credit cards. So yeah, we've got a one-time setup fee of $750, and then after that, it's $250 per. It's performance based, so it's $250 per removed review. But you only pay for the reviews that get removed. You get to see all the reviews that we're working on, all the ones that have been removed with the original links, stats on how many have been removed on a month-to-month basis, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of transparency into what we do, and the last question that everyone has, yes, we're 100% TOS compliant with Amazon. We don't mess around with your accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Ecom Triage, Jade's just got enormous amounts of experience launching products and dealing with the Amazon issues and stuff like that. So that's really just consulting side of things. And that's her and I.
Gotcha. Cool. So the next, I would say 5-year plan, was that these two kind of avenues be included in that, or do you guys are looking into other things? Walk me through that.
Well, 5-year plan, you know, kids are in school, mom can work again.
Yeah. Dad's retired and sipping margaritas on the beach alone.
I'm working my butt off.
She goes to work and I retire.
Because I'm not working.
She's retired with the kids having all the fun right now.
I would definitely get back into selling products as well as continuing to do the consulting. But this time I would set it up so I'm not the one doing all of the work.
Yeah.
Just like in the consulting, I'm not doing all of the work. I have other people that, you know,
help implement what needs to be implemented. So she can go take a look and investigate what's going on, but she doesn't have to spend all of her waking hours, which she doesn't have many of, working on diving deep into accounts and stuff like that. She can just direct our staff on that. But I'm going to tell them she's probably going to go into like the children category, because as a mother, like we've got 3 young kids, they're 6, 3, and 1. And as a mother, she's been hot on the trail of like, what's in the products that we're using. And, you know, like we all know, there's sugar and corn syrup and everything, right? And that's not good for you. But basically what she's finding is essentially the same thing with like children's toys and clothing and stuff like that, with like food, like traces, like well beyond traces of lead, cadmium and stuff like that are well beyond what they should be. So she'll probably start a full-blown blog informing moms of what's going on, directing them towards products that are considered safe and have been tested and stuff like that.
Probably European safe and not US safe.
Oh, you mean in terms of like laws on what's...
Yeah, because the US is a little bit lax. And then, but that is a problem that moms are running into with Amazon is we don't know what we're getting because it doesn't go through the US. It's coming straight from China and they don't have the same rules.
Right.
And so, you know, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of people out there doing their own tests on this stuff. And what's coming out is alarming. It's, you know.
For sure.
And there's no one regulating it.
Right.
100%. I have a friend of mine who is importing baby formula from Germany. And it's the same brand as the American brand. Like the box, everything looks the exact same, but you flip it around and you look at the ingredients and there's 10 times the amount of ingredients and seed oils in the American one. Same brand, same company in Germany, packaging's in German and has a fraction of the ingredients. It's really frightening.
That's because German has crazy food laws. They've got the oldest food law on the planet. Oh, really? It just so happens to be beer, which I support. But, you know, but literally, like they've had food laws in place for hundreds of years, and
for a reason.
For the most part, What's that?
For a reason.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Because they know, the old saying, you are what you eat. If you're eating chemicals, then you're a toxic warehouse, biological trash bag.
Yeah.
We just took a U-turn and went from e-commerce to talking
we
about
did. Well, the point is that's probably what she's going to go into because
like your friend, importing stuff from other countries where, the regulations are more locked down than here because it's what's going to be needed and wanted in the next few years. Like moms are already turning that way.
Yeah. And you look at the amount of kids that have mental disabilities, physical disabilities, because, if nothing else, food and chemicals are a major factor in that, right?
Absolutely.
But we have higher toxicity levels on Earth than we've ever had historically, except for when the volcanoes killed the dinosaurs. But I think the Earth has healed since then.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was an asteroid or what, but let's talk about the Cretaceous period. Cretaceous period time. Let's talk dinosaurs.
That's funny. But I like where this is going. We should do a off-camera continuation of this conversation. I really like where this is going. No, definitely. Also, I was going to ask you, because AI is such a hot topic, but you answered the question before I got the chance to ask it. So you are obviously leveraging it in your business. I leverage it in my personal life as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we use it quite a bit, actually. Not to the degree that many people are, but I've been a pro user of GPT, of OpenAI for a year or more, I think. Not too long after they announced it, the monthly fee, because $20. What's $20?
Yeah.
Like,
you
you can get
agents that are literally
for what it's doing.
Yeah. And so I've had it help me write contracts. I had it help me write my first kids book, just to give me an outline, because I didn't know how to write a book, but ask my wife, like when I tell the kids stories, like it's a good story for 6, 3 and 1 year olds and adults. But to put that in writing was different, Yeah. So I told it, like, listen, I want to write a kid's book. I want it to rhyme. And this is how kind of the format I have in mind. Give me an example. And then I took that example and I actually made it into a kid's book, which isn't out yet because I don't have it illustrated, but I did write it. So you can call me an author. No big deal. And a captain. I have a captain's license.
Add it to the list.
I do have a captain's license.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. We also kind of started in our business to leverage it. We're creating different tools and info products. So main image optimizer, all kinds of different things. Obviously
so you're actually building GPTs.
Exactly.
Yeah. I built a couple myself, most of them mostly broken, but that's such a cool thing to do. Like imagine being an agency and you have all these policies on how you operate. You just drop that into a GPT and you can just ask it, hey, this is the situation. What should I do in this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's where we're heading with this. Yeah. That's where, that's the goal. The goal is to get these agents to be able to do, different types of agents according to terms and conditions of Amazon, TikTok, whatever it may be. And you have those agents working for you essentially.
Yeah. I think, that anytime something new comes out, they're like, oh, it's going to remove the jobs of 40 bajillion people. And it's going to remove some jobs from lower end people. But I go back again to, adapt to the future or die in the past, and I think more than anything, it's going to help the individuals be more effective at their job and faster, which makes them more profitable.
Exactly.
And it's not going to go away. I mean, AI has been around for years, and now it's just becoming public, and I know people are upset about it. But
and it's not AI isn't going to replace humans in all the jobs. It's humans who use AI. We're going to replace other
humans in the jobs.
So it's like you said, adapt or die. People have the option. People have the opportunity to get informed, to learn, and be that person that takes over. And and is the one that's informed on how to use AI and different tools. So
Yeah. It's
We're in
like
the wild west of AI now.
exactly. It's like the time I didn't get Bitcoin when it was like $3 or $5.
It.
I did have it.
And
I
you
lost,
sold
I lost the wallet.
That's even worse.
No, I lost my wallet.
Oh,
Key.
okay.
Yeah, from like but I think that there were two versions of Bitcoin. There was like the first generation Bitcoin and then a second. I had first generation. I don't think it's worth anything. I think they went bankrupt. But I'm not really sure. It doesn't matter. I lost the key. But
it's
maybe
better.
one
It's
day
better.
I'll-
You don't. It's better you don't think about it.
Exactly.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
There's
Sweet.
one thing that we like to do is at the end of every podcast, we like to ask you guys if you could give advice to your past, present, and future self. So past as in, we already answered this a little bit throughout, but
Yeah.
things, pick something that you would have done differently in the past. Present, maybe someone that is, where you're at in your life, that has kids, any advice that you can give to them. And then by future, obviously, you don't know what the future holds, but something that you would like to remind yourself in the future, like something to keep you grounded. Let's say, who knows what's going to happen in 5-10 years from now, but something that, now and would like to hold, still hold true in 5 to 10 years from now.
I'll go first. I think I know the answer for myself. My past self, I would say, you idiot, get off your ass and keep working on your company, because we should be
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
woulda, shoulda, coulda. We could have been, and I'm not joking about this, Pattern. We started doing what Pattern is doing before Pattern started doing what they're doing. And had I any true business acumen, we could have been at a level of Pattern. No big deal. $3.6 billion a year in sales. To my present self and to people in my situation, always be hustling. If you're not going up, you're going down. Nothing stays the same.
Yeah.
And to my future self, you already knew you would say this, didn't you? That's me.
I like that. I like
That was
that.
good.
Mostly I would just say to my past self, man,
Don't marry that man and have kids.
He's going to get hit by a bus.
Cause you all time.
married after that.
That's true. That's true. We got married after that. That's why I'm still alive. I walked down the aisle with a broken leg.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I dragged him down the aisle.
She must really love you to go through with it after all of that.
Yeah. I have
Together since 2005. So
Yeah. So what's that?
Almost
That's
20 years.
20 years creeping
yeah.
up.
Yeah. Congratulations. I'll get you a wooden door or something like that. I think 20 years is a wooden door or vase or something like that.
If we remember our anniversary. So I would probably tell myself, stay focused, because I definitely, we just went off and after being broke and all that, it was like, oh great, let's go have some fun.
That's true.
And then we just kind of had fun, and we didn't really concentrate on building our future.
Yeah, that actually is the same thing as pretty much the same thing as I just said.
Yeah.
Like we went and gallivanted around the planet for what years?
2 years.
2+
2 or 3
years
years.
until she was 8 months pregnant, and we were
still
Believe-
gallivanting.
Yeah, that's right. So anyhow, I'm with you on
Yeah,
that.
so stay focused,
yeah.
and then
What about
and then
you?
I'll just I guess chill out. Don't get so stressed about everything.
I'm not saying nothing.
Shh.
Wow,
Things are really serious.
what a great idea.
Not like I don't hear it every day.
And now there's a recording for him to play back, so he has proof now.
Yeah. Hey, she's the one that smacked me. Look, if I play this back, she hit me 57,000 times. I'm suing.
And then to my future self, that's too deep. I don't know if I can go that far. Oh man, future self.
Future self.
Yeah, something
Have fun.
that have fun.
Keep having fun. Yeah. I
Keep
mean,
it light.
but seriously, I get too serious and too in the moment and too fixated on problems. And that's another thing that, in business and life and anything, if you're too much like that and you can't let it go, then It's
Yeah.
you're
It'll
gonna
drive
just
you
get drugged
crazy.
down.
Yeah.
You know, that's
exactly.
actually where consultants like us come in. It's like the people that are in their business, they're in their business.
Yeah.
They can't
They
take
need
that
the,
exterior third party
100%.
viewpoint.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know, you look at something from 20,000 feet, it's a lot different when you're stuck in a rock,
Yeah.
you know? And so, that's a good one, hon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I do with you. You know, you're all mired down in something, and then I walk in and I'm like, oh no, you just do that.
Yeah, it's true. And same with you. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, this is what makes a good team. You know,
Yeah.
like when I'm in the mud, she comes and she pulls me out. When she's in the mud, I go, ha 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 ha, and I take the kids and we go play.
Yeah.
You know?
And then I'm pulled out. No.
Yeah. And then that's it. That pulls her out right there. Then I leave her a rope.
Yeah.
No, but it's funny because
Nice one, hon.
same here. Honestly, it's a lot of times you're so deep in the trenches, and then Nat will pull me out and be like, "Look, this is the answer. Do this," or
Mhm.
vice versa. So
Yeah.
it's good to have a
Mhm.
partner to kind of
Once you're-
Yeah. It's a 2-terminal universe.
Yeah.
You know, it's like positive and negative.
yeah.
And there's a balance there. And we all need that other one, I
sure.
think.
For sure.
No.
Definitely. Guys, thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Absolutely.
getting on this. This was a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do a part
Yeah.
2 sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we'll talk about importing stuff from Germany that are safe for children to use later.
Knives. I've been thinking about doing knives from Germany. So
And if you know any toy suppliers, you can let me know.
there you
All
go.
right, we'll talk. We have a
Yeah.
lot of other things to talk about.
Okay.
Cool,
All
fellas.
right.
Really, really good. Thanks for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Of course.
Pleasure.
Really
Same
appreciate
here.
it.
Sounds good.
All right, guys.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
All
Bye.
Ciao.